All right, Mr. Chair, it is
Okay.
5:30, so we can get
Okay.
started.
Let's call, Matt, is there like a microphone?
There is not, so you just speak into
Okay.
into the
Into
ether.
the air.
Yeah, and they should be able to capture it, so.
Okay, so yeah, let's call what's the date today, April 2nd? Or do we have that meeting to order? We have a roll call.
Yeah, of course we do here. Ilya Arvin here. Thank you. Gabriel Maya.
Here.
Thank you. Maria Rodriguez. Here. Thank you. Zachary Bolton. Absent at this time. Jarrett Singh. Absent at this time. Shonda Golden. Here. Thank you. And then council liaison, Councilwoman Miguel Martinez. Absent at this time, and then staff liaison Abigail Mayorga present. Mr. Chair, you have a quorum of the Ward 3 Neighborhood Advisory Board. Summit is filling for quorum, so to note for our minute taker.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on to item 3, public comment. I don't see anybody here probably making public comment. I'm not sure, and we're doing the Zoom too.
We are doing
Okay.
okay. So, Mr. Chair, our first item today, as you mentioned, is public comment. Members of the public may hear, observe, and provide public comment virtually by registering through the following link, which can be found on the reno.gov/meetings portal. And the link is as follows: https://links.gov/47KGB capital O-L. It should be noted for those in attendance that comments are to be addressed to the board as a whole. Comments heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the agenda. The board may not take action upon any matter not agendized on today's agenda. When you are called on for public comment, please state your name for the record and begin speaking. The timer will begin when you say your name and you will be afforded 3 minutes. So here we do have participants on Zoom, so I am gonna ask them to, if they would like to give public comment, members on Zoom, if you would like to give public comment at this time, I ask that you raise your hand. The feature is at the bottom of your Zoom screen. It says raise hand, so just go ahead and click that. So I'll give you a second to do so if you wish to give public comment. And seeing none at this time, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let's move on to, we have a short agenda today. Just one business item. Do I have a motion to approve?
Shonda Golden for the record, motion to approve.
Do I have a second? Maria Rodriguez for the record, I second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, agenda passes. We're moving on to the minutes, which I did see on the online thing, but I don't see them printed out on this thing. But yeah. Oh, did you print them out? Okay, well, we have some minutes from the February 6th meeting, which was, I think, a longer one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about Yori, East Fourth Street Historic District. Yeah, I did look them over online, so. You want a motion to approve the minutes from February?
Shonda Golden for the record, motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
For the record, Gabriel Maya, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved, and we'll move on to Councilman Martinez is here, so the council report.
Thanks so much. Good afternoon, evening, everybody. Thanks for being here on a nice day. Now that the weather's turning a little bit, it seems like. We'll see, but we always have these fluctuations, right? In Reno. The only 2 items I wanted to bring up to the board's attention were the approval of a fitness facility that we just approved at Broadhead Park, which is along the river. Similar to what they put over in Spark on Audi, in that park that's just east of Paradise Park. So we did a similar thing with Renown, and they paid for about 1/3, and the city is paying the other 2/3 to get it installed and put that in place. That should be coming up here pretty quickly. And then we also approved $9 million in street renovations on Yori Avenue. So both north and south parts of Yori are getting redone with new curbs and gutters and some more pedestrian access points into the sidewalk and off of it. So there's gonna be a lot of improvements there, and I know the city's already notified all of our public utilities in case they need to do any work before we get out there late summer, early spring, and get that project done this year. So we just approved all of that. Excited about the investments that the city's doing in that part of our town, similar to the improvements in Audi Boulevard. I think those are kind of neighborhoods that historically haven't gotten as much investment, and now we're seeing the focus there. So really happy about that. And seeing that push forward. So those kind of the two items that I had.
Yeah, other than the record about the fitness stuff, can you just go into a little more detail? Like, I didn't see the item at the meeting, so what kind of equipment is it and where in the park is it gonna go?
I don't know exactly where. Abby, I don't know if you have that. Yeah, so there was a slide that Nathan, the director of the park, showed us, and it had like a rendering of what the fitness facility looks like. It's a whole campaign that is nationwide, and they put out grants to help get some of these structures in place. But it basically has like pull-up bar or like the rings where you can do that, and you can do some box jumps or that sort of stuff, calisthenics in that facility. But it's gonna be, it's not mobile, so you can't move any of the objects around. But it'll be a good little place for people to get quick exercise if they're walking along the river and kind of want to go on and step that up. And there's an app actually that folks can track the workouts that they do through there, through that national program that I talked about.
Yeah, here's where in the park it's gonna go.
Yeah,
It's not a very big park.
Yeah, Broadhead is not that big. I don't know if that was specified in the presentation.
Army Rodriguez for the record, I think there's something similar to that at the Mira Loma Park, isn't there? I know when you go along the walking trail at
Oh.
Mira Loma,
Yes,
they have those things that you can,
Yeah,
like
this is-
help you do sit-ups and help you do pull-ups and those kind of things.
yeah, it's basically like all of that combined into one
Okay.
place. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. Y'all want to watch the video? I don't know.
Yeah, I would.
Linked it,
Yeah, let me say.
but
Shonda Golden for the record. Is Paradise gonna get one of those? We've got really old equipment that runs the peripheral like Miraloma. But is that something even that the community is gonna want? I mean, do funds for this have, it obviously, would it have to be just for this, or could we put that somewhere else?
I think if I'm remembering correctly, they're coming out of the residential construction tax. So they're going to fund these projects, but I think if there is interest to put it in other parks, I'm sure we can talk to the Rec and Parks Commission to look at what areas it might be useful to put them in, especially as you all have mentioned, some of the parks that may already have some of these amenities, but like I know the ones at Mira Loma, like the string isn't, or the rope isn't there anymore, so you can't even climb it. It just has the pole itself, and some of it just needs a refresh on there. So yeah, if that's of interest, I know we can look at that.
I know driving around the city, I do see people that use them.
Yeah.
That, I think people use them.
Yeah, and in terms of like usage, I think through the app that folks can download, we can kind of monitor how many uses it gets, but obviously that's only gonna be if folks are using the app to track their workout routines. So, yeah,
And the other argument for the record, I mean, maybe the staff mentioned this. How was Broadhead identified for this particular thing, or why was Broadhead the park where they put it in? Do we know?
And when they went into it, it
Yeah.
was based on the grant and what was applicable.
That's,
Budget breakdown.
yeah, and then that slide right there, it kind of shows some of the other parks that were identified. Yeah, see, so Paradise Park could be coming up in 2026 or 25, sorry.
And that,
And then-
and so where are they gonna put it there? Where that blue thing is?
I'm assuming where the blue thing is.
Yeah.
So they're gonna cut into,
Isn't that where the gardens are?
no,
the-
the gardens are closer to the edge, but it looks like it's gonna cut into the grass. Everybody wants to get on that grass, losing, Shonda Golden for the record, losing places for children to run. And then also, we can't keep building so much in that area because we have wildlife that live there. Like, where are they gonna go?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that large of a space, but I understand your concerns. You could see up in Broadhead Park too, where it's gonna be. If you scroll down a little bit, yeah. I think the neighborhood advisory thing on the Zoom is kind of blocking it. If you scroll up a little more, yeah, right there, so you can see, yeah. So that's where it is, but like, as you mentioned, Ilya, the park is not that big.
Yeah.
So it just has sort of a general idea where it's gonna be, and that the percentages are I think the calculation that they made to figure out where to place them. And so we went with the two highest percentage points for activation and usage, to try to get the most out of that there. That's how they were identified. But there are others in the plan in the future, as you saw, Paradise and Northwest Park would be coming up next year if we want to continue pursuing these grants.
Yeah, Ilya Arman for the record, maybe, yeah, I'm just curious because it does, for something like this, I'm just wondering. Yeah, like, what if park users kind of get asked, about it, because the reason that I'm asking is because it feels like Broadhead needs a lot of work, but kind of like other kinds of work,
Yeah.
maybe like that's what Shonda's saying about Paradise,
Mhm.
I feel like the park needs improvement. I'm kind of wondering, yeah, it seems like an odd type of, or it seems like this is cool, but it seems like there's other things that maybe should happen first before
Yes.
this happens.
Yeah, Shonda Golden for the record, if for Paradise, we need to really take in consideration the wildlife is there. As you know, because you walked it with me. You see the dead ducks. Nathan has seen those too. And when we walked it, he was saying, first the plans came as the grassy area here for a dog park. And then he had suggested the playground, kind of keep it all in one area. And then the grass for all the wildlife and the children, then going back to the community center and the community gardens. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where this money goes, where you get it. But gosh, we could use that money for the community garden.
Yeah.
But let's see what this guy has to offer, because we do have teenagers in that area.
So it is residential construction tax, and from my understanding, those have to be used for parks.
Yeah.
And park improvements, from my understanding, so that specific pot of money is to fund projects like this in particular, but if there are other things you all want us to pursue instead of this, or you see here other improvements, definitely looking at those opportunities with you all.
Well, with this, Shonda Golden for the record, with this, could you put in a fountain for the kids? That's fitness. Yeah,
I think it would depend, and based on what the grant guidelines are, because they applied for the grant to be able to use the funds. So it depends on the grants of that Parks and Rec are looking at. I think this is one that was previously done in the past, so they just reapplied for it and were able to get it to continue to kind of add it to it. So it's like different funds. And I think Nathan has come and talked about like the different funding sources for certain things, and that certain funding sources have restrictions. So which is why they go for different opportunities, but all the funding sources have some kind of asterisk, like you can only use for this or whatever it may be.
okay, Shonda Golden.
I'm sorry.
Shonda Golden for the record. So maybe some of this funding, Councilman Miguel, we've got that foosball, that soccer metal contraption that has no shade. Maybe this is something because it's health. Maybe we can say, this is a good way, we have shade so that people are, not getting skin cancer, whatever, however we gotta spin it. Because that thing is hot and it has no shade. So how can the kids go out there? I mean, I've got a lot of teenage boys out there and that's fine. But, it'd be nice if the younger kids could go out there too, but they need parental supervision and they're not going out there unless they're shaved.
And I think a couple of the members from, I know you have a question, I'll get to you after this, have the Recreation and Parks Commission have pursued looking at what are called mini pitches, similar to those that you're talking about, but trying to maybe be a little bit more strategic of where we put them to where there is shading, or some tree coverage or something like that. Because that one, as you're mentioning, it's in the middle of a parking lot basically, and there's no trees or shade structures around it. So I think at night might be the best time to play if you're trying to avoid the sun, but that's probably not the best option for everybody in our community to be able to use it at that time, so.
Hey, Marie Rodriguez for the record. So this is part of the National Fitness Campaign,
Mhm.
the grant that was applied for and granted. And this is what the funds are being used for, with the grant that was granted this time around.
Mhm.
So, and looking at possibly the other parts, is that something that we're gonna need to apply for again? Or do we automatically have that grant now for the other part?
No, I think we have to apply each time
Each
that we
time.
want to put it in.
So at this time, the other parts aren't even an issue because we don't even have that grant money yet at this time.
Correct, yeah, but once we acquire that, then we can go further into,
Okay.
yeah. all
One
the
clarification
details.
on that. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
of
you.
course. Do you want to play the video, Abby?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The World Best Outdoor Gym, designed by the National Fitness Campaign in San Francisco. I'm Rob Richards with Pro Trainers. I'm so glad to see you. We're building hundreds of fitness courts across the nation, so you can build a daily wellness practice in your neighborhood, which will improve your health, happiness, and longevity. Our fitness courts are funded by both healthcare providers and the local cities and schools they are in. This is outdoors, in the sunshine and fresh air, and we're going to walk, jog, or cycle in a fitness court to get muscular movement, strength, and cardio you need. So what for you? The fitness court is the home of the incredible 7-minute 4K workout, which you're going to love. It is designed for adults of all ages and fitness levels. I can show you how it all works and how it will support you as an athlete, a regular fitness enthusiast, or as a mature adult seeking to prolong your best years by keeping your body functionally fit, so that the next year can be filled with joy. My favorite thing about the fitness court is how it makes me feel. Every time I perform a 7-minute 4K workout, I feel great. It's the best field medicine on the planet, and we've got hundreds of ways to check in, train, and challenge yourself. So let's get started and see how it works.
Once everything's perfectly organized,
I would just like to say that one of the things I do like about that is not everybody can afford a gym membership. And this kind of gives free equipment really to the community.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
Do you mind scrolling down a little bit, Abby, for to get the numbers on this?
Shonda Golden for the record. So it looks like he's got, how many? There were 4 modules that they could do. So how is that set up for only 4 people can work out at a time if they're going round robin on it? Like I saw he was doing it, but like how many fitness modules are there?
Yeah, that's a great question for Nathan. The exact equipment that was shown is on the YouTube is not exactly what we're gonna get. It could vary, so it just depends. So we can definitely touch base with.
Yeah, cause I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, so if I'm doing rings, then somebody's doing pilo, like, okay, then they're done. So we have to kind of move around, like, nobody's just gonna do rings. You know what I mean? There's gonna be and it looks like it's a full body conditioning.
Yeah.
So, and then also with this fitness, court, who picks what type of equipment's gonna be put in them? Because, so for instance, where Paradise is, I have a lot of teenage males, right? And they're gonna want things, they'll probably be using it a lot more than maybe some of the females or maybe some of the moms. I mean, that's the age group and who I see out there on playing more of the sports and stuff. But I mean, it could be open for moms too. I mean, I don't see them out there too much.
Yeah.
But, so it's just gonna be kind of subjective, right? And like the pull-up machine, like the pull-up bars that we have at Paradise, they're rusted. No one's gonna use those. And so that's another thing. Who maintains that?
So this is kind of what the costs are. For installing one of these and getting them purchased. Putting the concrete slab. And one thing I did highlight during the city council meeting was the fact that we're paying prevailing wage on the installation of this.
But we'll get you your answers,
Yeah.
to some of your questions or get with director Julia. That this was approved, so it will move forward, and then in the future, if they reapply for this grant, then, you know,
I have a question, Sean, go for the record. What about dog parks? How do those get funded?
Same way, grants, taxes, you know, the same way, so. And I know that Director Uliak came in the past to talk about the park master plan, so these are all things that are being looked at in the survey that was put out. And there's a bunch of things hopefully coming in the pipeline, but this one just is specific to this grant and Broadhead and then the fitness equipment. So I know that, you know, there's wants and needs for other parks as well, but at this moment. this is
Okay,
it.
so Shonda Golden for the record, I just want to put this on the record. With that park, Paradise, because it's so beautiful and vast, and because we have wildlife, we have bodies of water,
No,
all that beautiful, like I said, landscape and grass. It would be such a shame for the children in that community if we start putting this, that, and everything else in there. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't have backyards. And so to have a big space of grass is huge for them to be able to have that, for the families to be able to have picnics out there. So I just want to make sure, I want that to be, my voice to be heard,
yes.
that
that's-
patch of grass. You know, let's not, someone was saying, well, let's put a soccer court on there. What for? We already have the $100,000 soccer court with no shade, you know, in the parking lot.
And the Paradise Park survey did go out and they did get input from the community regarding what they wanted to see. So I'm sure Director Uliak will be back with those updates and whatever information that was compiled. But there's nothing going on there yet, right? Like they just did the equipment. There's no plans to take down the grass or whatever that is. There's not going to be action on Paradise specifically until, you know, there's community engaged. They just did the survey, like we're still in the beginning stages, the park master plan, again, beginning stages. So nothing will be going on, you know, just installing stuff like you're kind of like, you know, this prior to community engagement and all that stuff. So Paradise has been contentious in the past and I'm sure will continue to be. So,
No,
you
it's
know,
a place
better
of
than-
harmony.
Yes,
It's a
it will
beautiful
continue to be,
park.
yeah. So I know that they, you know, there's a pulse on it and the new equipment just got installed. So there are plans for it. But we're not moving forward without input and stuff like that. So you are heard and in the record for the minutes and I will
One more
let him know.
thing,
Yes.
one more
Go
thing,
ahead.
for the record, I'm passionate about the
Yes,
park.
I know, I respect.
One sitting here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to staff report.
Yes, I have a couple of things as well, that I wanted to share. Let me see what- All right, a couple of items that are currently going on. I wanted to share that the Public Art Master Plan, another master plan, they're currently taking information. So this can be found at the Reno Arts and Culture website. What you would like to see at the city of Reno when it pertains to arts and culture. The survey is due April 20th, so you still have more time to fill it out. I think I might have brought it to the last meeting, but wanted to provide this again for those who haven't seen, but, super easy. They just want to get some input, and kind of condense to see how to move forward in the future. And I'll share this in the turn and then, so there's something to participate. Yeah, so that is open again until April 20th. Please, feel free to participate as needed. I'm not going to continue on, but you know where to find it.
So the Arvin, for the record, the question about that is it connected to some funding specifically, or is it just like an open-ended? Like, I'm just trying to read the thing.
Open-ended.
Yeah,
Mhm. Open-ended.
so it's kind of like a master plan.
Yes.
Almost. For the-
Yes.
Marie Rodriguez for the record. Just to answer your question a little bit more specifically, I'm on that board. Yeah. And it has not been updated in ages, so it's just a matter of just trying to bring it up to date as to how Reno is today. And they hired a consulting group to help us and getting it, you know, put together.
All right, so that's that one. The next one I wanted to go over is the community cleanups. They are back for the spring, and that schedule is out. A couple of different things Yeah, a couple of different things. E-waste and haz waste will be available at certain ones. So if you have e-waste or haz waste, make sure that you are able to identify which one works for you. Obviously, you can go to whichever is closest to you. You don't have to go to Ward 3 only, or whatever that is. You can go to all of them and dispose of all your things. So you're open. There is no limitations. They start at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or until the bins are filled. So same old. We are looking for volunteers as well. So if you're interested in participating, please reach out and I can connect you with the organizer. It's a great way to kind of get with the community. I know when we did trainer last spring, with Councilman Martinez, like we had the neighbors walking out with their stuff and it was like, we had volunteers go and help them in their house and it was super fun. So it's a great opportunity. It's free to the community. Please use it. And yes, so here's the email as well, or the website, so I'll share that with our team participants.
Some council people bring fun.
Yeah. Bring healthy snacks as well, so. Yes, a couple things that are accepted, obviously not accepted, you are TV appliances, not accepted, also positive waste, paint, tires, a couple different things, but if you have additional questions, Sarah Lindsay will be the point of contact. And then the last one, of course, I want to continue to highlight the Community Champion Program. We haven't received too many nominations, so we just want to let you guys know that this is still open. If there is somebody in the community that's doing unheard work or putting in work that deserves recognition by the city, this is the opportunity to do so. So we can bring those to the NAB and we can highlight them and you guys can discuss as well. So if you have anyone in mind or need help filling out the form, please let me know and obviously I'd be more than happy to help. Yes, sir. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Ward 3 NAB.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. This is
Yeah.
Ward 3. Can we nominate a councilman?
No. You
Well,
can
you've
go
done
ahead.
a lot.
You can.
Can't say no.
But I don't know. It's
Doesn't
like,
say you can't.
no, it doesn't say you can't. That's the great thing. It's open to,
Yeah, you can go online and fill
Anyone.
it out.
you nominate one, then yes. But yes, so super simple information. It's actually, we'll be up to the NAB, we'll bring you the nominations and you let us know. Yeah, you let us know.
How many people have been nominated so far?
So I think we did one, last one, and then the new ones, a couple coming, and then there was 2 other ones, so like 5 so far. Not enough for a post yet. Well, none for Ward 3 either, so I know some of them were not in Ward 3, so yeah. We need some Ward 3 nominations.
One you trying to highlight,
The unsung heroes of the community, so that person who has been volunteering at the food pantry 30 years, and they just come every Wednesday, at 9 a.m. So, people who are doing community work. Can I get your name, sir, for the record? Sorry.
Oh, and I signed up.
Perfect.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
If it helps, I'll give you some of the examples that I
Oh, yeah.
nominated. The first one was a gentleman who's a barber, and he provides free haircuts to kids at the Boys and Girls Club for free. And he also does it at Camp Evans with some of the youth over there. And then the other 2 are outstanding teachers or school staff at the elementary school and middle school. And so we're gonna go to their school, hopefully. That's why I don't want to mention a lot of details, but they don't know about it and we're trying to highlight them during that event. And then the other person is somebody who's done sort of our event setup and audio at our events. And he's just always really friendly, really helpful to work with, accessible, and make sure that our audio and our electric system works well whenever we're doing anything out in the community. So wanted to make sure that he got highlighted as well. And those 2 are all folks that are in the community who have worked with them directly and have talked to me about them and wanting to get them nominated. That's something else I'm willing to work with any one of you on if you want to talk about that, or again, we could also bring them to the NAB and make sure we highlight them here.
Bring it, Rodriguez, for a question, with a question, for the record. It looks like needs a individual name. There's not a possible way to like nominate
group.
or organization.
Yeah, that's totally fine. You would just put it in the first name, and just put maybe like parentheses organizations. And obviously like it asks, so this is your information. So if
Yeah.
you submit an organization, I'd be like, all right, Marie, like, let me give you a call, get some info.
Okay,
So you can, I can ask clarifying questions.
perfect. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Of course.
Okay, and that was my last one.
Cool. So, be here.
They are not, I am sorry. You made it as long as you could.
So we're gonna coordinate.
We'll skip and
Yeah.
coordinate the time.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that's it for the business items, so, yeah, I think the One Truckee River thing, I think we'll put that for next meeting, we'll talk about that, but otherwise, I think, anyone else have any announcements on the board?
No.
And future agenda items, did you check in public comment?
No, I don't have a public comment. I just want, I live and work free and
Okay. Yeah, well, today's
No.
not a super eventful meeting, unfortunately.
Yeah,
We had some items I pulled.
Yeah.
and I was told by people, you could see it online and then it's no, in person.
Yeah.
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 You know,
Well, I
That's in
appreciate you
person.
coming, yeah.
It's like, okay,
Okay, well, let's put it out to the Zoom and see, Abby, if there's anyone on Zoom.
Yeah.
On that, I think we had a couple of people.
Yeah.
At this time, if there's anyone that would like to give a closing public comment, I ask that you raise your hand. The raise hand feature is at the bottom of the Zoom. And then I will give you guys a second to do so. Okay. Seeing none, Mr. Chair, at this time.
Okay, good. Do I have a motion to adjourn today?
You remind for the record of motion to adjourn.
Shonda Golden for the record. I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good work. Enjoy the